All right, so let's start out with, I'm going to start out with a pillar on the left. That's this guy here. And yellow is kind of a nice thing to start out with. You can get, it's fairly light, but you can be heavy on the pigment, which is kind of what we're wanting. And I'm going to do a little bit of experiment on this one. We're going to try to get some of the yellow here. Use the tip of the brush, once again, to define how far it goes. And I'm going to put a little bit of yellow into here as it starts to come down. And since I'm using the yellow that can be a high pigment content, it's not going to bleed out very much on that. And so I'm going to go down about a third with the yellow. Then, that's where I was experimenting a little bit. I'm going to come in with a little bit of orange now. And kind of have that blend.
It doesn't matter, bro. Why are you letting him do that? Look at my painting and you measure it. Yeah.
And then after that, I'm going to go get some brown. And so it's kind of transitioning as it comes down here. This is the experiment. Last time I just kind of went from a right to a left. But this is kind of good. Let's go ahead and get some more water in here. That brown was pretty dark. And I did this because a lot of the ones which you guys will be painting that I've seen that you've selected have changes in the different layers as it comes down. It has different sorts of layered effects on that. And then this one is just going to kind of be a mixture. I'm going to start out with the yellow on this one. Okay. And so this one, like I said, is going to be a little bit of a mixture. Sit down right there. Thank you. I want to make sure my edges, when I'm making this work on here, I want to make sure there's no little white lines in between there. And you can also come in and dab kind of to kind of reconstitute some stuff. Now this little part that shot up here, this is an orange right in through here. So we're making this kind of a three color deal.
The power just go out.
It kind of, the power did wiggle a little bit. Yeah. You need to use these three colors. I wanted this to mix a little bit more in here, but I wanted it to be divided into a couple of different areas of different colors. Like I said, the brown as it comes down here is kind of a fun transition. Then this is yellow. Down here I was going to make this kind of a mixture of all three. There's a big puddle of water right here.
I met Dara at the party. Jeremy and I helped put a car in the middle station.
Oh yeah, that was summer. Me and Terrence got it was like one minute it was like girls just being on State Street and it was
Okay, so that's the transition that I want to see in this one, is I want to have from a yellow into an orange and into a brown. And this is kind of a light coat. It doesn't need to be really heavy at this point. We're going to put some shadow sort of things in there as well. And so I can do this one first. Then I can do the one on the right. Then after it's all dry, I can do the one in the middle. Because there's places right in here where they can touch. So I need this one dry before I can paint this middle one. And so this will kind of apportion out my time. Now I want to keep the height of the yellow about the same on all of those, the height of the orange about the same on all of them, and then the height of the brown. So as I'm going over to this next one over here, it's a little shorter. It comes down to maybe about here, and it does not have to be exact.
She's on a sophomore.
Use the tip of the brush on the edge, the boundary between the colors. So the tip of the brush right here, so I can touch right up to the purple of the cliff. That's kind of a deal. And I'm just going to tap a little bit here to deposit a little bit more pigment. I'm going to go after some orange now. And so the orange is in here, right? It went down about that far. So that's my orange. Now it's not blending as much as I like, so I'm just going to tap a little bit of water in there so it'll blend a little bit better. Then the orange is coming down to about here. And I'm going to get some brown. And then the brown's coming down to the bottom of the pillar. And then the bottom part, remember it was a combo, so I'm start with the yellow. And then just put the yellow in where it's supposed to go. Keep it within the boundaries. And now, since this part is kind of like where the pillar started to deteriorate and fall off, I wanted this to be kind of a combo of all the colors there. So I put in some yellow. I put in some orange. I'm just scoop out some of this brown right here because there was a lot of it. A lot of water. I think that area right there needs a little bit heavier coat of the brown though.
Last one.
Okay, cool. I'm going to pull out a little bit of this water. And I'm going to put in a little bit more of the actual pigment of the brown. Now if you just tap with the tip of the brush, you can kind of disperse that out a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to wait for this to dry, then I can come back in and do the one in the middle.